Sneaker Gears. My name is Levi, and today we have another Performance Gears episode where we're looking at a full review and comparison on the PG3. So let's get right into it. Alright, so the PG3 has a lot of success to follow. Now the PG1 initially came out, and for $110, the materials were amazing, and the fit is what most people really liked with that booty fit construction. The PG2 was launched and really improved on almost everything. The traction was better. It gave us an unlock zoom setup, so the cushion was better, and the fit was better with those wingtips on the side versus the Velcro strap, as well as allowing more people to have a comfortable fit, whether you had a wide foot or high instep. It was a nice upgrade all around. The 2.5 actually added the strap back in and made it a little bit more accommodating for those with narrow feet. So it helped out, and wasn't one I got, but it brought us all to the PG3 that we have today. So the PG3 is, I wish, more of an upgrade, but as always, let's start with the fit. All right, so there's no way around it. The fit on the PG3 is not wide foot friendly. I have a little over 16 hours of wearing this, probably more since I did try to wear it casually as well, just to break it in, and it is good enough for me to keep, but I really was hesitant on keeping and really wanted to return it at multiple points, just to give you guys an idea. Now, because of this wing strap and how far back it goes, and in the forefoot, it doesn't matter if you have a wide forefoot or a wide midfoot, it just kind of doesn't work. And the reason I say that is, and we'll get into the materials a little bit as well, the materials used on this versus the PG1 and 2 are just a downgrade, and there's no way about that. The leather used is not leather, it's definitely plastic and feels very fake and cheap and quite hard. The mesh used is definitely more closer to like what they use in the Kyrie line with like the Kyrie 1 or Kyrie 3, where it is a lot more firm and takes a lot longer to break in. Now, all that being said, maybe it's more durable, but I didn't really have any issues on the PG1 or 2. So eventually it did break in enough where I could still wear it, but it's definitely not as comfortable, and it's definitely something, again, if you're contemplating returning it or not keeping a shoe, I mean, it's not that great. So the fit on this, although the tongue is upgraded with a nice fluffy tongue, you can really torque it down, so the lockdown is there. Although it does have the wingtips, again, for lockdown, all that is more the support. I love it visually, but I just wish it was wide foot friendly. Now, if you have a high instep, it kind of doesn't matter because this uses a traditional lacing system. And as far as the length, I wore a 13 in all my PG1s, 2 PG2s, and a PG3. Lengthwise, they fit pretty accurate. So if you wore a PG before, it's going to fit lengthwise as it has always. All right, going to the support a little bit. The support is one area where I think they have improved on it just a little bit. Now, this is not what I would call a highly supportive shoe, but they did make quite a few areas. The heel cup is a lot bigger. Obviously, you have what this looks like a heel cup here, but it actually comes all the way up to it right there. So you actually are locked in really securely in the back of the foot. The tongue allows you really to torque it down, so you really have a nice locked in fit pulling you back into the heel. And then finally, those wingtips actually do quite help on any kind of lateral movements. You really do feel the containment where this is there, and then as well as the foam kind of coming up where you're in the shoe a little bit more. Now, being a wide footer, I'm definitely putting a lot of pressure on that, and I can say at least the containment has been great. Another aspect is the base is a lot more flat than the PG1. So this is going to give you a little bit more stability, especially if you're like a spot up shooter. The way PG3 has been shooting this year, I like to say, you know, is it the shoes? But it does give a little bit less rounded sensation like the PG2 had, where the PG2 had a little bit of a kind of Kyrie to it, where it had a kind of a rounded edge. So I like that because you felt a little bit quicker. This is definitely really flat on both sides, very straight. So again, a little bit more stability. I think a lot of people do prefer that. The only thing I don't like it is they did make the base of the shoe even narrow as well. So not only is it narrow on the inside for fit, but it is narrow on the outside. There's not really an outrigger. That's one area I wish it did have a little bit, but obviously the fact that it doesn't fit me the best, I kind of don't care, just because you want a better fit first and foremost. All right, now to the cushion. So the cushion on the PG2 brought in unlock zoom, similar to what we had on the Jordan 28. It felt great right out of the box. The PG3 technically they did improve it, but the problem is, and maybe it's something I personally have, it's 2019. Most shoes you're gonna buy, you really don't need break-in. There's knit, there's synthetics. You put on the shoe, and for the most part, a lot of shoes you can put on and they feel great right away. Now, the traction might get better, the cushion might get better, but overall, you're gonna have a nice, comfortable fit. The PG3, the upper definitely needs a break-in, and the cushion definitely needs break-in as well. The first two wears I had, this 2 sessions, so totaling 3 to 4 hours, the cushioning was terrible. It's hard. You had a lot of people who just didn't want to wear it. I talked to a guy who had it for a week, and I said, hey, does the cushion break in? How do you like it? He's like, nah, man, I wish I didn't buy these. So for me, that wasn't looking up. I did watch Nightwing's review, so I'm like, all right, let me stick to this. Now, I did cheat. The next 3 sessions I wore these, I used our Velocity insoles that you can buy online. The shipping on those, again, is 6 to 8 weeks, so give it some time, guys, but they are coming out. Totally cheating. The insoles fit in these perfect, huge bounce to it, and I was really able to enjoy these a lot more. So after playing them for about 3 wears, I'm like, all right, let me take these out and actually give these a chance to break in. Now, even with the Velocity insoles, you're still breaking the cushion in a little bit. So on that 4th wear, the 4th session, so at this point, we're coming closer to 10 hours. During the wear, I did start to feel the cushion feel a little bit nicer, where the foam was starting to break in. The transition was nicer. I felt the zoom. And by the 5th wear, so now we're looking at over 10, 11 hours of play, it actually starts to feel really good. So I would say this is an upgrade once broken in for a few different reasons. One, the cushion allows you to be a little bit closer to the ground, so you have a little bit more court feel, which to me is always a plus. 2, the actual foam and the zoom used is going to feel very similar, so you do have adequate cushion as far as impact protection. Transition was nice. And then 3, the foam used is going to be a little bit lighter, so you're getting a lighter weight cushion while being closer to the ground, while giving you a very similar effect as far as having that nice zoom and nice foam setup you had in the PG2. Only thing is, it does take some time, guys. So the PG2 was really popular, the 2.5 was popular, and that's for a reason, and they did improve it on this. It just takes some time. Only my question is, how are some of these guys wearing brand new pairs in the NBA every game? Because unless they're using a different foam setup, it's just not comfortable, at least for the first few wears, depending how long you played. I was just at the gym last night, and some of the guys said they were playing there for 6 hours. So if you're playing that long, you're probably gonna have a comfortable fit by your 3rd session. You'll be okay. All right, so this is the reason I kept the shoe. This is the reason I put up with it not having the best fit. The traction on these is ridiculous in a good way. It is awesome. It is hard, so you can definitely wear these outside. I'm not going to tell you how long it's going to last, but it's a firm rubber. It uses a deeper groove setup than they do in the Why Nots. If you look at these two, you can tell they're both using kind of that circular pattern. This is using a softer setup. It's using smaller circles, and for whatever reason, each circle is actually cut in half. So you're only getting like, you know, a crescent shape on either side. This uses a full length circle. It is deeper. I would say they're a little bit bigger, and again, they're different sizes throughout the shoe, but it just works. The traction is incredible, and anyone who I've spoken to who's worn these has had the same success. Now, the Dame 5 I played with for 1 night. So I have another pair coming in. The Dame 5, a lot of folks are saying, does have probably the best traction. So I would say for 2019, the best traction, at least right now, early on, is between the PG3 and the Dame 5. And I'll have a full comparison as soon as I'm able. But the traction is so good, I literally put up with the fit. I said, you know what? It's worth it. On top of that, at least in this Black History Month colorway, I really liked it visually. So it looks good. The cushion broke in, so it feels good, and that traction is awesome. So it's something where I'm putting up with the fit, but if you were to ask me, hey, I have a wide foot, would you recommend it? No, I wouldn't. Depending how wide your foot is, it does break in, it does get better, I can say that, but there's just a lot of better options out there. They're just going to fit a wide footer so much nicer, where you can just really enjoy it more. All right, so overall, for $110, in years past, the PG line has been an awesome value for what you're getting. The PG 2.5 is now available generally for right around that $50 to $70 range. So you really have to ask yourself, is the PG3 worth it for $110? Now, for $125, a little bit more, you have yourself the Why Not, which has been freaking awesome. For $5 more, $115, you have the Dame 5. So for $110, yes, you're cheaper than a lot of the guys out there, but if you're able to get some of last year's shoes on discount, the Kyrie 4, the PG2, man, I almost recommend it a little bit more. It's just not quite worth it if you're a wide footer. Now, if you have a narrow foot or a normal foot for that matter, the fact that it needs a break-in, I really don't like, but it needs it, and some shoes still do, and that is definitely something that was more accustomed to in years past, but not really in 2019. So I'm trying to think, for $110, what's really worth it? The Under Armour Anatomics, I would say, is probably a better shoe for $110. That traction is supposed to be really nice. I'm not too sure if I want to review that shoe, just because I really like the traction and the setup on the Curry 6, so I'm happy with that. But the Anatomics, for that price, I think that's $100, is a little bit better of a shoe. I think just overall, I did try that on and just wear it in store, so I just felt it very briefly. So just based on price, my brief fitting, where I did like how it fit, and just reading reviews, that seems to be a little bit nicer of a shoe. Visually, that's up to you. I think the PG3 looks better. From the Adidas camp, obviously the Dame 5 is just all around a great shoe, and for $5 more, I'd probably say that's worth the money as well, guys. And then even from Nike's own camp, if you're looking at that, you're really spending, man, just for a little bit more, you can get something else, or getting last year's model might be a little bit better value. I know the new CP3 is coming out. That's going to be for $95, and it's going to have 4-foot zoom as well. We don't know much about that, but it does have what looks to be a nicer upper material being knit, so the fit might be a little bit nicer. The traction looks really solid on that, and that's going to be $15 less, so we'll see how the cushion is related to that. But the 110 just has me really iffy on this is something I would recommend or not. Now, if you like the way it looks, if your number one priority is traction, and you definitely do want to stay in the Nike camp, then for 110, this is a great shoe. This is something that you're really going to be able to enjoy. But for all my wide footers out there, for all those who don't want a terrible break-in process, and for anyone who's willing to spend maybe a little bit more, I think there's going to be better options out there. All right, so if you guys enjoyed that video, please give it a thumbs up. Feel free to ask any questions down below in the comments, or you can hit me on Instagram or Twitter. You guys let me know what you guys want to see. I will have some comparisons with this. Overall, it is a shoe that got better, and I did enjoy it more as I wore it. And hopefully this gives you some insight if you're looking to buy it. Sizing, cushion, hopefully I went over all of that. This is Levi with Sneaker Gears. As always, really appreciate you, and I'll come at you later.